A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a historic move, Australia is set to become the first major democracy to impose a nationwide ban on social media access for individuals under the age of 16. This groundbreaking legislation, which will come into effect on December 10th, has stirred significant debate and concern among various stakeholders, including parents, tech companies, and the youth themselves. The ban targets popular platforms such as TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Reddit, and Twitch, mandating these companies to not only remove existing accounts held by users under 16, but also to prevent the creation of new ones. The Australian government justifies this measure as a necessary step to combat the alarming rise in online bullying, exposure to self-harm content, and the addictive nature of social media, which is believed to deliberately attract younger audiences. The legislation outlines that tech companies must take reasonable steps to enforce these new rules, or they could face hefty fines of up to €26.19 million, equivalent to approximately $49.5 million AUD. This financial penalty underscores the seriousness of the government's stance on protecting minors in the digital space. In the lead-up to the ban, a noticeable trend has emerged among younger teens. Many have taken to social media and forums to share tips on how to bypass age verification checks. Suggestions for using VPNs to mask their locations and access social media platforms have proliferated, alongside recommendations for less popular apps like Yope and Lemonade, which have recently gained traction among teens and are now under scrutiny by the Australian government due to their rising popularity. The implications of this ban are far-reaching, and the global community is watching closely. Critics of the legislation, including the Digital Freedom Project, a Sydney-based organization advocating for the rights of teenagers, argue that the ban is unconstitutional. They contend that it could inadvertently drive children towards more unregulated and potentially harmful online environments. In response to these concerns, the Digital Freedom Project has filed an official complaint with the Australian High Court, which has agreed to hold a directions hearing on February 25, 2026. This legal challenge could potentially shape the future of internet access for minors, not only in Australia, but also influence similar discussions worldwide. As the deadline for the ban approaches, many are left wondering how effective this legislation will be in achieving its intended goals. Will tech companies be able to implement the necessary changes in time? How will young users adapt to these restrictions? And what will be the long-term effects on their mental health and social interactions? This unprecedented move by Australia may set a precedent for other nations grappling with similar issues concerning youth and social media access. Countries like Malaysia have already announced plans to consider similar measures, indicating a growing trend in global governance of digital spaces used by minors. As the debate continues, it's clear that the conversation around social media, youth engagement, and online safety is far from over. The outcomes of the upcoming court hearings and the effectiveness of the ban will likely provide critical insights into how governments can navigate the complex relationship between technology and the well-being of younger generations. With social media being an integral part of modern life, the challenge remains to strike a balance between protecting youth and allowing them the freedom to engage in digital spaces responsibly. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.